Hiya, hiya. Welcome to When Everybody Minds Their Own Business, News is Scarce. So they talk about The Rock, a guy with a movie. All of a sudden we're in the movie business on television. Since when? Well, you're out of news, you got to do something. So they show trailers and they talk about his depression. The guy's rich and famous and has had a great career, and he's been in so many honors, and the guy is depressed. I think he ought to hang around Wheeling or Wheeling Island. Maybe a little bit of a trip to a place that you won't get depressed. Buffalo, because all your feelings are frozen along with everything else on the Great Lakes. They call it the Great Lakes effect. I call it the Finger Lake. Well, the missing Finger Lake. Oh, whatever the case, let's get serious. You know, people want me to get serious for a minute because, listen, there's not a lot of hits on my stuff because I don't go viral. I'm not looking for great platforms. I want to do a show that's like this, where I can be the Andy Rooney of the generation. But you know, I want to do what I'm doing right now, and I presented myself to all the networks. Not everybody. But I've been told by friends that when I get serious and I talk about things that are relevant, that there is nobody that does it any better, which is flattering. But let me tell you about Russia for a minute, okay? First of all, the Russians are ungrateful because they were in the dark ages. So was China. They wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for us to bring them up to speed. Now, how? President Clinton. When Yeltsin was in office, Pat, what's her name now? Clarity from New York, big financial person, wonderful lady. She went to Russia and helped set up banking. They never had mortgages on houses. Nobody could own a house when you're communist. Everybody owns the house. So she set up banking. You know, they didn't have any banking. They had no ATM machines, no banking. They had a satellite up there that was their military. Whenever anybody is poor in a country, they go military, like Korea right now. You know, because you got to feed the people, and they make blankets and spam and things that the kind you eat, not the kind on the internet. You know, it's amazing how Russia has gone in that 50 years of being nothing. After World War II, when they were really everybody's enemy, they thought they were smarter than everyone. And you know, that whole thing just got so dark. You couldn't even buy a roll of toilet paper. You had to wait in line to get anything in Russia. This guy, Putin, came along after Yeltsin. You would think that he would say, thank you, America. Thank you for giving us, for using our people and making everything famous, because you guys are free. We'd like to be like you, but we're just a bunch of jerks. That's what he's got to say, that, because they are. They don't live properly. They want to cheat their way through everything. They want to have all this subversiveness and secretness and spying on everybody. Who the hell wants to be a voyeur? You want to be the person who is doing the action, not the someone who watches someone doing it. It's like pornography, you know. I mean, I want to be in the picture, not watching it. So this is the way it is with our world here. In Russia, they ought to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for all the help you've given us. We wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for you. We now have a solid economy. They're mad because they don't have all of their kingdom again. England got over it in the 50s with the Queen, when she was not as important. After the people opened up with free press, free radio and television, the people were in charge, like we are right now. That's what, see, Trump plays to that crowd. He doesn't play to the politicians or to the establishment. He plays to the crowd of people. And even in English times, that should have happened earlier, but it didn't. They were an empire, but they could control it. See, history is very important. You've got to learn history, or you're not going to know the future, because you can't live in the present without knowing the past. That's the way it is. So we need to teach the history. And you know what? As I'm stopping myself, the encouraging thing is the young people, not the millennials right now. They're the ungratefuls that we raised as a rule, but the ones after, their grandchildren, their children. It's just amazing to see the spirit they have. They're not encumbered by the wealth and the greed and all. This is like, it's assumed. So therefore, they handle it differently. We were struggling for it. You know, I don't know how important it is to take Elvis out of the grave. He's a dead hillbilly, and they're gonna celebrate him with a movie. We keep digging people up and going to their past, like and going to the part that was the most glamorous, not remembering that he was a drug addict. I mean, you know, come on. we're trying to get over a lot of things. Opiates right now, you know, I mean, what do you want to celebrate? The guy who does the most over-the-counter drugs and still lives? That would probably be me. So anyway, this is it. This is it. This is what the kind of stuff that needs to be on television. The TV is deader than my nuts. It needs to be on television. They need to talk this way. We need to open it up and address the people. And you know what? That's the trump card that everybody has. You're holding a trump card and you're not using it. It's a Reynolds wrap.